Hey everybody, it's XS Master X. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon LeafGreen. In the last episode, I took down Brock. And in this episode, I'll continue through Route 4. In between episodes, I grinded up Yellow a few levels to make things a little bit easier here. Alright, let's get started. How many trainers have already battled? Apparently not this one. Hi, I like shorts. They're delightfully comfy and easy to wear. Now, people familiar with the Pokemon fanbase will know that this trainer is actually very infamous for this line. To the point where, in later games, he's actually referenced again. I'm not entirely sure how this whole thing started, but it's pretty funny. I still might have to switch Yellow out a few times because it's taking heavy hits, but at least it's like capable now. Oh yeah, I thought of a good nickname for Mankey, but since I can't change nicknames until later, it's gonna have to stay a Mankey for now. And there goes Rattata. I think in episode 2, I went on this long rant about repeating Pokemon archetypes early in the game. For some reason I abruptly stopped before getting to the later generations. In 5th generation, Patrat, Petrat. I'm not totally sure how it's pronounced, to be honest. But that's the regular normal type, and Pidove is the regular flying type, which goes back to the old not being too special in battle after Staraptor broke the tradition. And in Gen 6 we have Bunnelby, who I think I told a pretty funny story about, as the normal type, who also changes things up a bit by having a ground typing and actually being good, which is the first time this has ever happened in this line of Pokemon. Gen 4 broke so many traditions, and then Gen 5 brought them back, and then Gen 6 broke them again, because the normal flying line went with Fletchling, who actually evolves into a fire flying and is really good. So, better than Staraptor even. Because Staraptor is not that good in the metagame. It's mainly good for endgame. I actually have an IV bred Talonflame in my X game. I have a few IV bred Pokemon. I also have an Espeon because that's my #1 favorite Pokemon. As you could probably tell by the fact that it's my avatar. For a second I thought the emulator was freaking out, but it's not. And I told the story before, but not in this Let's Play. The reason I got Pokemon Colosseum is because Espeon and Umbreon were already my number 1 and number 2 favorite Pokemon before I even knew the game existed. It sounds like something that'd just be like, oh hey, they're in that one game so I like them. But no, before I knew they existed, they were my favorite Pokemon. And when I learned that there's a game where you got Espeon and Umbreon starters, I'm like, I want to get that game. So I ordered it in the mail. Well, yeah, I think I had to order it off of Amazon or something. Or did I? Let me think of it, I don't really remember where it came from. It must have come from the internet though, because I didn't get a box for it. It just came in a little case, like the little paper case that my Q case came in. Except that actually did get GameStop, so I don't know. But it is in a box right now because what I did was I had an old Sly 2 case that I'd lost a disc for, and for my 9th birthday I got a new one along with Sly 3. That was a pretty sweet birthday. I still suspect to this day that one of my friends who came over and was playing the game with me actually stole the disc. But yeah, I could never find it, so I just got a new one. So I had an extra slide 2 case, nothing to do with it, so I took out the cover, and then put in like a piece of notebook paper with the words Pokemon Colosseum written on it. And even though it didn't really fit, I put the disc into that, and that's where it's been ever since. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I also beat like Mirror B twice before actually getting and then not being able to save it because my memory card didn't have enough space for it, even after I like deleted everything else or moved it to a different memory card. There wasn't enough space. So I had to go out and buy a new one, which I'm still using to this day, even after we got completely wiped clean by the Wii when I left it in there for too long. It is a Mad Catz memory card, and according to some people I talked to on a forum, that happens quite often with those, with the Wii. So that's why, once I got my GameCube to work again, I've been using that to this day. Probably more than the other consoles, to be honest. It's the reason I never sold the GameCube, and just played all my GameCube games in the Wii. Ah, Quick Attack. That's a fairly useful move. Okay, that was a long stutter there. I can kind of tell when it's doing that by the timer for Camtasia. Let me try it. I'm trying like everything I can to get it to be a bit faster. Nothing is working. Like, I've closed all of our applications except for this, Camtasia, and Audacity. And I have those other two minimized now. So I'm not sure if, like, that's gonna help. Like, I've also tried making the Visual Boy Advance screen half size. So, and it's still stuttering a bit, so I'm kind of out of options as to what to do next. Hopefully the... Okay, yeah, there's an orange berry there. Since there weren't specific berries in the original game, there's just like berry, and then paralyzed cured berry, and a few others. I'm not even sure if those were in this game at all. I think there was just a regular berry in this game. And the other berries were added in. I better get Mickey out here. The other berries were added in Pokemon Gold and Silver. And then Ruby and Sapphire completely overhauled the berry system and made it very complicated. But it also had all these like explicitly named berries that were just kind of stuck in the random places in Fire Red and Leaf Green, because why not? There's also a funny story about... Oh crap. Darn. Darn it all. Don't underestimate Spearow and its furry attack. This thing's quite high level, so that's... Wow, I wasn't really paying attention. Okay, there, now it's down. I'll probably have to go back and heal. Yay, it learned Karate Chop, that's a pretty useful move. But not as useful as in the original Gen 1, when the speed stat, well, the speed stat influenced whether or not you got critical hits. So fast Pokemon like Mankey, on a high critical hit move like Karate Chop, would always get critical hits. However, Karate Chop was also a normal type move back then for some inexplicable reason. Now, I'll be right back to run to the Pokemon Center. Okay, I'm back. I don't think I've talked to this girl before. That look you gave me, it's so intriguing. That's kind of an interesting line because... Okay, never mind. It's kind of an interesting line because, you know, in the original game there was no option to play as a boy. I'm pretty sure I've talked about all this. But in this game they decided to keep text like that was apparently meant for the boy character and have the character say it to the girl character too. And it's not just them being lazy and not changing the text at all, because certain other parts of the game where people say like, call you like a guy or a man or something, or change, so that they say a lady. I know of like one instance of that at least. There might be others I don't know about. So yeah, I guess we're just supposed to assume that they're lesbians. Fun times. Oh hey look, it's Nidoran. What you had to use to beat Brock in the original games if you chose Charmander. Because there's really no other options. Although Butterfree could probably work since I'm not sure if Brock's Pokemon had rock moves in that game. The original games are kind of weird. Alright. Okay, I guess it's time to keep plowing on. There's a few new Pokemon you can catch in this route after you fight this guy. Who has says something after you beat him that I want to make sure to make a joke about. Oh yeah, that's right. After last episode, I went to Poke Earth and I looked for bug catchers in Viridian Forest named Colton, and I couldn't find any. So that guy was lying about seeing us in Viridian Forest. Either that or he saw us but we never saw him. Like he was hiding in the trees or something and spying on us. That would, like, I don't know, some people would not be comfortable with that. In fact, I think most people would. Metapause and Kakunas are pretty good for grinding, I just found out, because I give a decent amount of experience being second form Pokemon. And if you have a special attacker, they're toast. Like their Hardens will not do anything. Except make a whole bunch of jokes, but I won't go into that. There's a lot of weird jokes you can make with Pokemon nicknames. Dinner. There, that's all I wanted to say about that. Alright, so, okay, first of all, there's one more trainer. I think I remember this trainer, actually, and it's good to have Mankey out in front. Eek, did you touch me? Yeah, that's what I thought. And she has like a level 14 Jigglypuff. Yes! Yes! I remembered it. I'm the master. I always feel proud when stupid stuff like that happens. Like, I remember like the specific dialogue, word for word, or what Pokemon a certain trainer has. I've just played through this game that many times. I have no life. Like, over the summer, I spent like 3 days doing nothing but playing this game on the emulator in preparation for this run, and doing everything possible there was in the game. Albeit, I did use like frequent use of the speed up key, and I used a couple game shortcodes here and there for stuff like the game corner, and for like the Eon tickets, the Mystic ticket, whatever it's called. And I managed to catch like every single Pokemon possible to catch in the game's cartridge, so I can mark this game as complete in my backloggery. Oh, I forgot the Pokemon. Oh, do I have any Pokeballs even? I have 3. I'll go get some more. Oh, Mickey. Okay. Back in action. Let's catch some Pokemon. Alright. Here's Nidoran female, which we saw earlier. Hopefully I will not... Well, I probably won't get poisoned by it because I'm using a special indirect attacker. Or, yeah, you know what I'm saying. If you have Bulbasaur, which I do, Vine Whip's a good way to lure this thing out slowly, since it's pretty low level. There's actually Nidoran's a weird Pokemon because It's the only Pokemon that's considered a completely different species depending on his gender. And like evolves into different things and everything. Well, some Pokemon like Combi or Corellia evolve differently depending on their gender. But the Nidorans take that to an extreme because they look completely different. They have different slots in the Pokedex, which is what makes them unique. There, I spat it out. Nidoran male is in this route too, but it has a 1% chance of appearing, so I'm probably just going to use an in-game trade later. But there's another Pokemon I want to catch anyway. And here it is, Stiggly Wiggly itself, who has been in every single Smash Bros. Game alongside Pikachu, because it was once popular in oh my gosh. Zing might actually be this thing's only move, so I guess it'd be good for capturing Pokemon. Oh, are you serious? Thornberry. Oh. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to switch. What has this attack weak enough to not kill it? Mankey, Mew's pretty strong. I'll try Quick Attack. And of course it has to do that and be a jerk. I'm tempted to like save a save state in case I accidentally make it faint, but no, that'd be cheap. I will do things honorably. Yes, okay, Vital Spirit. I never thought that'd ever come in handy, but it just did. Vital Spirit actually is a crap. Well, that wasn't useful at all, so I'll be right back. Okay, I found another one in the next 3 encounters, so luckily that didn't take too long. Okay, that seems to be about right, as long as it doesn't have another Oranberry. It doesn't, okay. It's just only like a 5-10% chance of holding something. And now it's asleep, before it can put me to sleep. And now it will be in a Pokeball. Ching. Da 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 da. That's the music that normally plays because you can't hear it. Yeah. And there we go. That should be all the Pokemon on this route I'm catching right now. Alright, so I'll end off the episode here, since my timer says 20 minutes, 30 seconds, even though I have to cut out a fair bit. I have a strange... These flowers always make me think there's an item, but there's apparently not. There's certain little signs you can look for like that, where there are items before you get the item finder. Oh yeah, just a couple more things to show here. These rocks also usually have items. Did I say rocks or Brocks? Because I saw that guy talking about Brock, and I might have... Okay. I needed to test that because I have like some emulator file where I used advanced map. Oops, not what I meant to do. I used advanced map to make this place like walk-throughable, for lack of a better term, so that I wouldn't have to go through Mount Moon every time I want to come back here. And now there's the Personberry. And one last thing is I'm going to be showing something that I am not bothering to do, and that is this guy, who will... Sweetie Pie, yeah, see there. I'll let you have a secret Pokemon, a Magikarp, for just 500 Pokédollars. So you'll buy it, am I right? No! Because this thing is extremely easy to catch later in the game. Like once you get to Vermilion City, you don't have to try at all. There's an item that basically has a 100% chance of catching Magikarp that you get for free. So no, I'll pass up on that. Magikarp's kind of a very famous Pokemon, and rightfully so. But I'll be talking about it later because this video is over. Next time on Pokemon Leaf Green, we will be taking down Mount Moon. See you guys then.